Legal matters, the corruption case against former President Jacob Zuma and French arms company Thales. Back in the Pietermaritzburg High Court today, Judge Nkosinathi Chili is weighing Thales' application to be acquitted on all charges due to the death of key witnesses in this case. Zuma's legal team brought a similar application, saying their right to cross-examine witnesses will also be affected. The former president and Thales are facing a raft of charges, including fraud and money laundering from South Africa's multi-billion rand arms deal dating back to the late 1990s. SABC News senior reporter Ayanda Mhlongois is on the story and joins us now live from the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. And in making that application, Ayanda, Thales said that the death of these two key witnesses has paralyzed them from the neck.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good morning to Ayanda and good morning to viewers. Yes, absolutely, and that is the argument that Thales has brought before the Pietermaritzburg High Court. Basically say that they will be unable to proceed with this matter. It would not be fair to them because of these two key witnesses having passed away. And of course, as you say in your introduction, also importantly is that the former president Jacob Zuma, who's the co-accused of the French arms company Thales, then also making a similar application, or bringing a similar application before the court. And as you said, they're saying that his right to cross-examine the witnesses would also be affected. Of course, these were the two directors of Thales South Africa, that being Mr. Pietermaritzburg and Alan Thethard, I hope I pronounced it correctly, but these were the directors of Thales South Africa from 1999 up until the early 2000s, and they passed away, Ayanda, in 2021 and 2022. Let me just step out of shot. It is still pretty quiet, Ayanda, I must say, here at the court. We have, of course, seen the representatives of the legal parties. We saw Advocate Dalimpofu representing Jacob Zuma and his instructing attorney, and we've also seen the legal team of Thales, and this is the court right at the end of the passage that our viewers would be seeing, and that's the court where this matter is going to be heard today. Also, another important point that was raised, and you'd remember, in the arguments brought forward by Advocate Dalimpofu on behalf of Zuma, was the fact that, in particular, Mr. Thethard's evidence would be crucial on that infamous encrypted fax. And of course, we note that that infamous encrypted fax related to the agreement having been written down in terms of what Jacob Zuma, and of course, this was done through his financial advisor, then Schabir Shaik, who we know was found guilty and sentenced for the fraud and corruption, of course, relating to this matter. And that encrypted fact detailed the agreement between the French arms company Thales and Jacob Zuma through, as I said, Schabir Shaik. So an important day it would be, I would say, Ayanda, for both parties. Of course, today is set down as a holding date for Judge Chili. Obviously, he will then notify the parties as to whether or not he is ready with his judgment, while he needed time to consider those two arguments. But if it does go in Thales' favor, it would be interesting to see what that would mean for Jacob Zuma. Of course, they are now hoping, piggy-banking on that case, and with the hope that if indeed it does go in favor of Thales, then it could mean that former President Jacob Zuma might be off the hook. But as you know, and legal processes are one that take quite a while. There are many options as well that would be available for the state in terms of appealing that matter. But obviously, one is getting ahead of ourselves at this moment. It will depend on that ruling. Will Judge Chili be ready today to deliver his ruling? And if he does, who will that ruling favor? And then, of course, we will establish from the parties what would be the next step. If he rules in favor of Thales, what will be the step that the National Prosecuting Authority will then take. So interesting, it's going to be very interesting, I must say, and in terms of how this case proceeds. And you'd know that this is a matter that has dragged on for many, many years. When the charges were reinstated against the former President Jacob Zuma and Thales in 2018, and there's been numerous applications over the years brought, of course, by former President Jacob Zuma. Initially, it was that stay of prosecution application that he brought shortly after the charges against him were reinstated, and that matter going as far as the Constitutional Court, and his applications there were dismissed. He then went on to challenge the lead prosecutor in this matter, that being Advocate Billy Downer, through the private prosecution application. So certainly it's been a long road, and today the court will then determine what will be next in terms of this matter. Ayanda?
Right, Ayanda Mhlongois, it certainly has been a long road, decades long, many will say, and we'll get a sense about whether or not there'll be yet another turn to this protracted case. Ayanda Mhlongois, live to us there from the High Court in Pietermaritzburg.